Today on Comic Storian, we're going to be continuing our Spider-Man 2099 series. When we last left off, Miguel O'Hara had gained the powers of Spider-Man, including talons, the ability to stick to walls, and webbing. He was then in a battle against a samurai, which gravely injured him, and he was discovered in the lower levels of the new New York. As he was finally going to be shot and killed by the local police, the Vulture arrived, carrying him off. This is the Comic Storian channel, where I take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites. I give you a synopsis of the storyline so that you can then go out and buy the issue yourself to get the rest of the context, or you can go and get the next issue knowing where the story is going. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Now let's pick up with Spider-Man 2099 issues 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'll link the last episode down below. And if you enjoy the video by the end of it, please consider hitting like and subscribing to the channel. Miguel still felt groggy from his injuries and the fight. Confusingly, he looked around, finally becoming aware that he was being held aloft by the Vulture, explosions popping all around them. A young woman with no comprehension of her own morality is following us, trying to be a heroine, the Vulture tells him as he glances back. "Let him down, Vulture, or I'll pin your tail feathers back," Casey shouts as she follows them on her hoverbike, but the Vulture doesn't heed her warning, holding Spider-Man tighter as he twists through the air, extending his talons. "You think you can match my flying skills? The sky is my second home," he shouts to her as he swoops behind her. "Don't hurt her," Spider-Man gasps as he struggles, accidentally making the Vulture slash the hoverbike across the tail fin. "I wasn't gonna hurt her, you idiot, just kill her, but you made me hack off the stabilizer. Now she's going to be killed and hurt." He shouts at the wall crawler as Casey flies away, her bike smoking. Vulture twists Spider-Man around, knocking him unconscious and flying off into the distance. But Casey manages to ditch the bike and roll clear of the explosion, looking up just in time to see the Vulture flying away. "Oh, Cluck and Bell," she whispers in frustration. Meanwhile, Gabe is driving his maglev car through the twisted streets of downtown. Forced to put down the wheels, he begins to search for which direction he is supposed to go, but he's stopped by a gun put to his head, and he looks up to see some comically dressed Thorites. "Are you gonna tell me that Thor is coming or something?" he asks cautiously. "I got your Thor right here," the zealot laughs as he waves his gun around, but Gabe suddenly hits the gas, knocking over the first two thugs as he peels away. "Stop the car!" one shouts as he pulls out another pistol, but Gabe whips the car to the side, throwing the guy off of his roof as he drives away. "I did it! I did it!" he shouts, looking down at the gun that fell into his passenger seat, and he picks it up. "Cripes! I've never used a gun before in my life, but better keep it over there, where it won't do me no harm or anyone else," he whispers as he looks around and then sees more hoodlums nearby. On second thought, he clutches the gun closer. Elsewhere, Miguel finally wakes up, struggling to his feet as he recognizes an uncomfortable smell. As he checks his wounds, he realizes that he is no longer in pain and can breathe normally. He jumps onto the walls, climbing into the darkness of the shadows. "You awake, S-Man?" someone calls from the door. They push a plate of food through the slot in the door, telling Spider-Man not to try anything funny. But Miguel rushes through the door, slamming into it, throwing the cyborg away. He leaps past him, quickly moving through the halls of the building, but he rounds a corner to find the Vulture sitting and eating there. "How nice to see you up and about. Please, come in." The Vulture waves him over. "What is this place?" Spider-Man asks, still not aware of downtown. Vulture explains that they are at the bottom rung of the corporate ladder, where the city keeps the dregs of society. Miguel doesn't understand why they don't just rise up, but the Vulture waves him off and questions which of the corporations made him. "You broke away from them, just as I did," he explains, and finally Spider-Man merely asks, what does the Vulture want? "What else could I want? The skies," the Vulture says with a grin, explaining to Spider-Man that he wants to bring Alchemax down and take back the skies, expecting Spider-Man to help him. "Otherwise, you'll find the alternative unappetizing," he explains as the men pull their weapons and aim them at Spider-Man. Vulture motions to the pile of bones that litter the floor, "Just as those men did." Spider-Man's eyes widen as he realizes what the Vulture is eating. "Did you think I was going to waste those perfectly good guards I killed while saving you?" Vulture asks with a crazy look on his face. Spider-Man leaps across the room, slamming his fist into the cannibal's face. "You demented creep!" He knocks the cannibal through the wall with the next several blows, but the Vulture grabs his arm, throwing him away, ordering his men to open fire. Spider-Man dodges, leaping out a nearby window, and he keeps going, leaping through the hole in the floor and finding himself in the Vulture's meat locker. Oh no. he whispers to himself as the door pushes open and the Vulture moves into the room, launching himself at Miguel, but the wall crawler leaps away. I gotta get out of here before I throw open my mask, Miguel thinks to himself, leaping up to another catwalk, sliding into an old elevator shaft. As he continues to crawl away, he eventually slices through the elevator cables, sending the car screaming back down to the Vulture. With an explosion, Miguel looks up to find a skylight. All right, meat! I'm sick of playing games with you! Vulture screams as he comes flying up through the shaft, through the fire and smoke, slamming into Spider-Man, carrying him up and out the skylight. But Miguel keeps hitting him, trying to take the bird down. If you won't be my main man, then you're gonna be my main course. Meanwhile, Gabe finds himself outside of what he thinks is Casey's place. A hand reaches out for him, grasping his shoulder as Casey startles him. Boo! She shouts, and Gabe whirls around, firing the pistol in a panic. The bullet hits Casey, and she hits the ground, with blood beginning to pour beneath her. Inside a nearby church, the police looks up at the stained glass painting of an angel. The sound of wings slicing through the air reaching her. The window shatters as Spider-Man and Vulture slam into it. And at Casey's apartment, the woman is angry with Gabe as he bandages up the spot where the bullet grazed her. Nice shooting there, O'Hara, she snaps. But Gabe just blames her, telling her that she shouldn't have snuck up on him. As he continues to bandage her, he tells her about his recent adventures and how he was looking for his brother. Why would he be down here? She asks, but that's when they're interrupted by a knock on the door, with Casey warning Gabe that he's a little scruffy. Though someone who disarmed a Fenris shouldn't be fazed by my crew, she tells him with a smile as she heads to the door. Meanwhile, Spider-Man is flipping through the air as Vulture slashes at him. Great, now I'm desecrating a church, he thinks to himself, and they both continue to flip and fly through the church as the priest shouts for them to get out. Spider-Man promises that he's doing his best as he flips out of the way of a church pew that Vulture launched at him. But finally, he flies through the window. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a little victory. Leave the church if you dare, he snaps as Spider-Man leaps through the window, seeing Vulture's crew amassing outside. Face me! Face the freakers if you got the stones, Spider-Man! Oh, I think not, Spider-Man says, starting to go back into the church. But Vulture swoops back around, grabbing him, throwing him back into the crowd. Spider-Man tries to swing away, but gunfire then goes off, ripping through his webbing, forcing him to tumble into the crowd. The freakers try to dogpile onto him, but Spider-Man punches them away. Get off! He bellows as he punches and slashes through the freakers. Well, aren't we getting tough? One of Vulture's sergeants notes as he grabs Spider-Man from behind. Vulture launches forward, shouting for his men to hold Spider-Man steady. I love a good fillet, he shouts as he snaps out his talons, but Spider-Man shifts forward, allowing the Vulture to slash his own goon. He then keeps moving, throwing the goon over his shoulder. At that moment, Casey and her crew pull up, with the woman being impressed. Wow, look at him go. I wasn't so sure about him at first, she notes. When she finally sees a clear shot, she orders her crew forward, intending to help the wall crawler. But Spider-Man is shocked as the two gangs collide. And that's when he looks up to see Casey standing nearby. All right, S-Man, you soften them up for us. We gotta get them under control. Take off, she shouts to him. Miguel is shocked to see his brother with Casey. Didn't you hear her, man? Move! Gabe shouts, but Spider-Man looks up to see Vulture swooping back down. Knowing that the monster's speed and claws will allow him to cut through Casey's crew quickly, Spider-Man leaps onto the wall, intent on leading the maniac away. Vulture swoops by, barely missing him with his talons. You seem to have acquired some enthusiasts, Spider-Man. Can't say that I'm surprised. Anything that is different is certain to draw followers. Spider-Man keeps moving upward, finally finding the understructure of the maglev roads. He turns just as Vulture sweeps back towards him. Doubtless you wonder why I've allowed you to get this far, Vulture calls, but Spider-Man shakes his head. Actually, I assumed that you suffer from diarrhea of the mouth and couldn't stop your verbal waste material from pouring out. Vulture attacks, destroying the smokestack that Spider-Man is perched on, but the wall crawler leaps clear, punching him in the face, knocking him away. He shoots out his webbing, tying up the Vulture's wings. And as the cannibal struggles, Spider-Man just looks at him. Remember, you're helpless, and I could gut you from crotch to sternum if I felt like it. Not so high and mighty now, are you? But the Vulture cuts his way free as Spider-Man swings away towards the Uptown. You think you can hide in the belly of the Uptown beast? Figuring I ain't got room to fly, so we'll be equal. We'll never be equal, Spider-Man. I will always be superior. Vulture shouts at him, but Spider-Man leaps out of the shadows, attacking the monster. He punches him across the face and then dodges another blow from the talons. The Vulture then tries to pull his talons free as Spider-Man dips back into the shadows. Take your time, I'll wait, he jokes with the villain. But Vulture becomes angry and he rips his weapon free, leaping after Spider-Man. But the wall crawler flips around a pipe, kicking the monster with a large web. "You're out!" Spider-Man shouts, but the Vulture no longer struggles, flopping uselessly on the web. "I did it! I knocked him out cold! I beat the Vulture!" Miguel shouts in victory, but as he reaches for him, the web line snaps and the Vulture plummets back towards downtown. Miguel finally sighs. "Gotta go check on my brother, and then I'm going home." And with the Vulture defeated, we move forward in the story. Over at the Wellvale home, the psychiatrist walks up to Conchita Miguel, who barely acknowledges him. He sighs and asks if they should pick up where they left off and talk about her sons. But the woman suddenly begins to scream as he yells for a medic. Back over at New York, Miguel cheers as he finally swings back into Uptown, barely moving in time to avoid a maglev car that honks as it screeches around him. He manages to avoid it, swinging up onto a ledge, acknowledging that it would be embarrassing for him to die by getting hit by a car now. But he doesn't have a moment's rest when one of the Alchemax flyboys aims a pistol at him and orders him to hold steady. Miguel drops to the ground, shooting a web over the guy's mouth before he can call it in that he spotted Spider-Man. The cop shoots, but Miguel twists around the blast, punching him in the face and knocking him unconscious. Grabbing the cop, he holds him up, checking his size. He looks about my size. I might just have a chance at getting home without any more hassle. So he pulls the guard into a nearby park, pulling on that uniform over his Spider-Man costume. He pulls off his mask to reveal his black and blue face. "I wonder if I look as bad as I feel," he whispers to himself, climbing onto the cop's rocket bike and flying back towards the city. Lost in his own thoughts, he doesn't get very far before he's surrounded by flyboys who are trying to wave him down. "We're gonna nail Spider-Man!" one of them shouts as they fly off. So Miguel revs the engine, flying away behind them, hearing about how Spider-Man has been sighted at a nearby mall. "What's going on around here?" he thinks to himself. He zips in low with the other cops cheering him on as he approaches someone dressed in a Spider-Man costume. He swoops in, grabbing him, but the Spider-Man is knocked off a ledge and begins to fall. The other cops notice several other people dressed as Spider-Man. "This place is crummy with Spider-Man! What's going on?" the police shout. And one of the cops manages to corner one of the Spider-Men who clings to a nearby wall. But when the wall crawler tries to leap down and attack him, the cop knocks him to the ground. "Who are you?" the cop demands as he pulls off Spider-Man's mask, and the face of a former Thorite stares back at him. "I spread the word of Spider-Man! He will bring punishment from on high!" Miguel speeds up his bike, managing to web the falling Spider-Man and lower him to the ground before he can slam into it. "I created a web line! I've been transformed! It's a miracle!" the zealot in the costume shouts, but Miguel jumps off his bike, grabbing the zealot by his costume and yelling at him for what he's done. "This isn't a game! Go home and burn your costume and never pretend to be Spider-Man again! You don't understand! The Spiderite movement is the way of the future!" the zealot tells him. Miguel gets angry, pointing his finger and allowing one of his talons to pop through the flyboy's uniform. The zealot immediately kneels before him, bowing his head. "Oh, great and powerful Spider-Man, master of disguise, who moves in mysterious ways." Miguel is frustrated, getting on the bike, telling the kid to go home. As he finally gets back to his home, away from his now followers, he greets Lila and moves through her normal routine of listing off his messages. He sighs, taking off the uniform and asking her to draw him a bath. He steps into the bathroom, putting on a restorative cream on his face, one that should remove his bruising, and he slips into the warm water. Meanwhile, Gabe returns to his apartment, angry that Casey could only keep talking about how amazing Spider-Man was. And back in his apartment, Miguel looks up in shock from his bath as Dana slips her legs in. She smiles at him, telling him quickly about how she has been looking everywhere for him. He sighs, lying to her by explaining that he's been busy finding a way to deal with his rapture addiction. "I wasn't keeping you updated on my whereabouts because I was dealing with shady people, but I did it. I beat it for good, Dana." But he also told her that there are side effects. "My teeth are sensitive, so if you want a kiss." She promises to be gentle as she leans in, but Miguel pulls her into the water with a laugh. Their tender moment is then interrupted by a cough from the doorway as they both look up to see Gabe standing there. "Really hate to interrupt. We gotta go, Miggy. It's Mom. She collapsed at the home, and she's calling for us." It's later at the nursing home that they find their mother muttering. They lean over the bed as she struggles to tell them that she can't see. All except Miguel. "You've been a good son, Gabe, and I've had a good life." She gasps, and she begins to call for Miguel, still struggling with her words as Gabe motions him over. "It's so dark. Wait, a light." She begins to gasp, and with a sudden convulsion, she falls over on the bed and is still. "Ma, knock it off. You're upsetting Dana," Miguel tells her with a frown, but she doesn't move. "You're not dead," he says, anger slipping into his voice. "I could be," she says, eyes still closed, and the two begin to argue, and his mother finally gets up, walking across the room. That's exactly the sort of attitude that I expect from you, she huffs, and Gabe tells his brother that he should go talk to their mother. But Miguel argues, why me? She's always hating me because I remind her of Dad. He snaps, but Gabe and Dana both order him to go talk to her, so Miguel finally agrees. Meanwhile, Miguel steps out onto the balcony with his mother, finding her smoking an actual cigarette. Where'd you even get that? You know these are illegal. Miguel snaps as he takes it from her, and he apologizes for not visiting her more, and she slaps him. Okay, I'm glad I haven't been visiting more, and she slaps him again. Feel better, crazy lady? What do you want from me? But she shakes her head and tells him nothing. She finally explains that she wants him to be a good man and opens up a cabinet revealing pictures of Spider-Man. A real man. Someone who isn't afraid to spit in the corporate eye. Someone who sees a bigger picture and is trying to redraw it. Someone who cares, she says as she motions to the pictures. Miguel scratches his head as he sees pictures of himself in the Spider-Man costume. But she doesn't know it's him, and finally he turns asking his mother what she would think if Spider-Man really wasn't like that. Maybe he's just someone who got caught up into things. Someone who, if he never put that costume on again, he'd be perfectly happy to go back to his life. But she yells at him again, telling him not to start tearing things down that he doesn't understand. But he gets angry and he leans in close. Oh yeah? Well, how about this? I'm Spider-Man! He shouts at her. But his mother just bursts out laughing, turning away, and Miguel tries to show her. He offers his talons and his fangs, but she doesn't look and keeps laughing at him. She finally turns and thanks him for making her laugh and walks out of the room. Later, Miguel returns home in the rain, thinking about everything that has happened to him recently. He realizes that his mind has already begun to change, that he saw the world differently before he became Spider-Man, realizing that his time in downtown also changed him. He passes by a Thorite demonstration, watching as the public eye officers begin to break it up and begin to get violent. And in a short time, he's amongst them as Spider-Man, leaping and knocking the cops away. Put down the guns or I'll hurt you badly, he snarls at them. Someone opens fire and he leaps into the cops again, slashing with his talons until the cops scream in pain. Finally, as the police begin to run, Spider-Man leaps up onto a lamppost and begins to shout into the public cameras. Alchemax, Stark, and whoever else is watching, one warning. I hope you're all listening, because Spider-Man isn't kidding around anymore. He snarls as he rips the camera off and throws it to the ground. A short time later, he changes once again back into Miguel O'Hara, walking through the city, realizing that he's going to have to continue to put on the Spider-Man suit until he has found a cure for himself. And he promises that he's going to change this city into something that he can stand to look at. And there you have it. The full first volume of Spider-Man 2099 is now covered on the channel. If these 3 videos have done well, we'll continue the series, but we at least wanted to end you on a note where it's kind of a conclusion and you can go buy the rest of these yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the previous 2 other Spider-Man 2099 videos, and hope to see you back here at the channel. Don't forget you get early access to our videos if you go to our Patreon, patreon.com/comicstorian for only $2. And if you really like what we're doing here, consider liking and subscribing and joining the Comicstorian group right here. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.